Hey again, folks. Okay, in this video, Sabres good vibes. Let's take a look at this. Coming up. Very quick 2 clips I want to show you here, and then we're going to just talk about it because I found this, it's a must show. You guys have to see this because it sure made me feel good reading it. So, let's look at clip number 1. Here we go. And there you see NHL Power Rankings. We found reasons to watch all 32 teams down the stretch. And before I show you this clip, I can tell you that it was only the Sabres that this was said about, okay? This is in The Athletic. It's a few of the guys that wrote this article together. And the consensus was what I'm going to show you here. All right, and here we go. And they got the Sabres, yeah, it's about right in the power rankings. I don't pay much attention to that stuff, guys. The power rankings doesn't mean nothing come playoff time. It's just kind of a fun thing to do to pass the time. But if you take a look, okay, on this, what I found really interesting about this, a reason to pay attention, the absolute best vibes in the league. I loved reading that. Every year there's one team in the league's basement that's hell-bent on playing spoiler down the stretch. This year, the Sabres are that team, and they look like they're having a lot of fun doing it. Since March, this team is very respectable, 11-8-3, and have been the most watchable Sabres team in over a decade. That's progress. Oh, and there's that Owen Power kid, too. Oh, that was something you guys know I talked about before. That was something I wanted this year. I wanted to see the Sabres make chaos down the stretch, and they're doing it. So I'm really proud of the boys. And now we're down to really one more team we can mess up, guys, which is Boston. So we're gonna do our best to mess them up in that game, and hopefully their entire season will be hinging on a home ice berth, like in the first round, unless we take it away from them. I hope that's how big that game is that night when we play them. So I'm looking forward to this. But isn't it nice, guys, to hear the Sabres get some due for what's been going on for really a good 2 months now with this franchise? I mean, this franchise is turning a corner. You've seen the big games, the big wins. We got Toronto's number all of a sudden. I mean, there's a lot of things going on that I don't think any of us would have believed 6 months ago, let alone just recently. So, yeah, as this unfolds, this close to the season, I think the majority of us are pretty proud of how we played down this stretch. I know we had the 3-game losing streak. Come on, 37 seconds left. Another one, we blow a 2-goal lead. It was just, we caused chaos. We put them in a corner. We scared the heck out of them. We did. These guys were, Florida and Carolina are among the elite in our conference. We know it. There's them, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston. After that, I mean, you could toss the Rangers in there, but the Rangers haven't really done anything in a long time, with this bunch. They haven't really done anything. So the Rangers, too, I guess we should toss in there just respectfully, we should. Just don't let Rome hear me say that. But when you look at the overall picture, the Sabres went into this close of this season, guys, I believe, and they just went in fearless. They went in fearless every rink. I know we got smoked by Edmonton and we got hammered. What was our late? Oh, and we lost that 5-0 game to Tampa. But you know what? Here's what I think when it comes to the whole Tampa thing, okay, that 5-0 game. Tampa is the defending Stanley Cup champions. They're smart enough to know in their dressing room that team is playing well. We got to go out there, guys, today like it's Game 7 or we're not winning this game. Like, they're smart enough to know that in Tampa. They didn't just come out and just do their thing and put on their skates and say, we're going to kill these guys. And it wasn't like that. I guarantee you their dressing room had mad respect for the Sabres and said, this young team right now isn't scared of very much, so we better be ready or they're going to take us out today. And that's the maturity of a champion. They found their best game in that game. We've seen it. Tampa could repeat, guys. They could repeat. They could win their 3rd cup in a row. I mean, would any of you really be shocked if Tampa Bay won the cup again? I wouldn't be. really. Not at all. I don't see why we should doubt them. There's no reason. They're not sitting with a ton of injuries. Stamkos back, having a great year. So there's a lot of things going right over there right now. And that team they're going to be hell-bent to try and become a dynasty. I mean, that's what's up in the air for that team this year. And that's just as hard as anything. I mean, to win 3 in a row hasn't happened since the Islanders. The Oilers couldn't achieve it. Chicago couldn't. Pittsburgh couldn't. The Islanders and the Habs, that's the only teams I ever seen in my entire life win 3 cups in a row. So, and they both won 4 back-to-back, right? I mean, Edmonton, if they didn't choke in the middle, I would call them a dynasty. I don't like to give loophole dynasties to teams. You got to win 3 in a row. I'm old school. And really, the city I'm brought up in, which is Montreal, that's the bar out here. 3 in a row is a dynasty. It's not 2, year off, 2 again, year off, 1 again. That's not a dynasty, it's an era. And that's just the way I approach that. People disagree with that, but they were brought up in a different time than me. When I grew up, 3 in a row was a dynasty. And that's just the way it was. So now if you look, though, we just played this team. This team came with their A game. So did the Oilers. And the Oilers guys could cause damage in the playoffs. I think we know that. They could. It just depends on how mean they get. That's what we're going to have to see with Edmonton. That's what it's going to come down to. Can that bring out that mean streak? Now with the Sabres, in the games they've lost, okay, and I think I'm right saying this, they didn't show up physically in those games, most of them. Not enough. Just not enough. And the games where they looked amazing, you'll see they had like 30 hits, and they looked amazing. Their passing game, everything, their confidence level was high. I mean, we're seeing a different level of hockey in Buffalo right now than we haven't seen in a decade. That article was right. When it said it's been a decade since Sabres fans have seen this kind of hockey, that's the truth. That's the truth. In the Eichel era in Buffalo, we never seen them look like that. And not that 10-game winning streak. I'm not going to use that as a loophole. That was early in the season. The games, to win games now is way harder than in October and November. Winning these games this late in the year, that's when it's really tough because everybody's gearing up, they're getting ready, they're getting meaner, all of it. They're sensing that, it's getting warmer out and the juices start flowing in the players and they get more mean come this time of the year, especially when they're really close to clinching playoff berths. So no matter what, the Sabres are having a much tougher schedule now than we did then. If you look back then, what was it? How many did we win in extra time, guys, in that 10-game winning streak? Was it like 4 in like shootouts and overtimes, wasn't it? I mean, I'd have to go back and look at it. It's not something I think much about because all that team did, okay, that won the 10 in a row was die a slow death the rest of the year, right after the winning streak. I don't think we were able to put 3 wins together after that 10-game winning streak. We just took a slow curve right down. We didn't stop. This team has went from the pits and had to come back up. That's a whole different route. A whole different route. So the way this team is going right now, guys, is I wouldn't be surprised if the Sabres won out the rest of their games. I honestly am not just saying that. I wouldn't be surprised. They're so unpredictable right now, this bunch. Or we could go into Jersey and lose 4-0. There's no way to know, That's the fun part of this year is the unknown. Every time they go out for a game, the Sabres are just so darn unpredictable that you're not sure what to think. We got the Jekyll and Hyde syndrome for a lot of this year, but not since the Vegas game. Since the Vegas game, I honestly believe the franchise turned for good. That for me was the moment that the franchise turned. And I know we had the losing streak, but all good teams have losing streaks. And that losing streak wasn't that bad. We lost 2 games. We had them both by 2 goals, both times. So it wasn't like we were, intimidated. It wasn't that. It was just that they had to put on their best performance the last 20 minutes in both those contests to come back and beat us, or whatever it was, whatever time left. They had to come back, those teams. Those teams desperately needed those wins more than us. But the Sabres, they're correct, are the team that's really playing spoiler. We're the team. We're the team down this stretch run, guys, that are causing chaos. And, You remember, we made videos on this, or I made videos on this months ago, talking about this. This was something I looked forward to. I wanted to see if we could do that this stretch run. And this is where a lot of Sabres fans doubted we could get 30 wins because nobody thought we could cause all this chaos. Now it's not even we're thinking about 30 wins. We're just excited each game that's coming up. We want to see what these kids are going to do one more time. It's going to be sad when the season closes. It will be. We're all going to have a little withdrawal. It's going to kind of hit us. That's when it's going to hit us, the season, guys, when it's over. When the season's over, that's when we're going to reflect, look back, remember the good that we did that we never seen coming back in October. None of us seen it coming then. And I guess on that note, guys, I'll just stop it there. You know, I don't want to ramble all night about this, and I will if you let me. So I'm going to stop it there. But I do believe that our boys are headed in a great direction, and I do expect to see them continue this chaos that they're doing to others the rest of the year. We'll see if I'm right as we close out the season in the next few weeks. All right, guys, see you in the next one.